Imagine you buy a car, you pay the full price, you get the keys, you drive it home. Now imagine that on a cold winter morning, you try to turn on the heated seats and the dashboard displays a message. Subscription required. Please insert credit card to activate heating. This isn't a dystopian novel, it is the business model of BMW in 2022. You own the physical hardware, but a corporation retains control of the software that allows it to function. Welcome back to Proxy Reality. Today we are investigating the death of ownership. For thousands of years, property was the foundation of freedom. If you bought something, it was yours. You could sell it, you could break it, you could pass it down to your children. But in the digital age, that fundamental right has been quietly dismantled. You no longer own things. You merely license the privilege of using them temporarily. And this shift isn't just about movies and music. It is a slow, methodical enclosure of the physical world. Let's start with digital media. You think you own your Steam library. You think those movies you bought on Amazon Prime or PlayStation Store are yours. Read the terms of service. In 2023, PlayStation announced they were deleting hundreds of Discovery shows from users' accounts, shows that people had already paid for. The content just vanished. When you click Buy on a digital storefront, you aren't buying the product. You are purchasing a revocable license, a license that can be terminated at any time for any reason without a refund. You are building a digital library in a house owned by a landlord who can burn it down whenever they feel like it. But the real danger happens when this model escapes the screen and infects physical objects. Look at the agricultural industry. John Deere, the massive tractor manufacturer, implemented software locks on their machines. If a farmer's tractor broke down, they were legally and technically prevented from fixing it themselves. They had to wait for an authorized dealer, paying exorbitant fees just to get a software code to unlock the engine. A tractor that costs hundreds of thousands of dollars is no longer a tool you own. It is a proprietary black box designed to extract continuous revenue. This is the new paradigm, everything as a service. The goal of modern capitalism is no longer to sell you a product once. That is inefficient. The goal is to turn you into a permanent, recurring revenue stream. You will subscribe to your car, you will subscribe to your printer ink, you will subscribe to the thermostat in your own home. You are slowly being transitioned from a citizen with property rights into a permanent tenant in a corporate-owned reality. But the ultimate endgame of this transition isn't just about software locking your car or disappearing movies. It is about money itself. We are rapidly moving toward a cashless society. Convenience is the bait, but control is the hook. When cash disappears, every single transaction you make becomes a line of data in a centralized ledger. It is tracked, analyzed, and monetized. But more importantly, it becomes conditional. Think about the rise of central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs. Unlike a $20 bill in your pocket, programmable money can be assigned rules. A central authority could dictate where, when, and on what you are allowed to spend your money. They could implement expiration dates to force economic stimulation. If your social or financial risk profile drops, your ability to participate in the economy could be throttled with a single keystroke. We saw a glimpse of this during recent political protests worldwide, where participants suddenly found their bank accounts frozen. When you do not own physical currency, your financial freedom is entirely dependent on the continuous approval of a corporate or government platform. You are essentially renting your right to participate in society. And this vulnerability is hidden in plain sight, buried inside the terms of service agreements that nobody reads. Every time you click "I agree" to update an app, you are signing away your legal rights. These contracts almost universally include forced arbitration clauses, meaning you surrender your right to sue the company in a real court, if they steal your data or delete your purchases. You are agreeing to let the corporation act as the judge, jury, and executioner in their own private justice system. Look around your house, the smart thermostat on your wall, the digital doorbell, the connected refrigerator. You paid for the hardware, but the company owns the data network. If they decide to discontinue support for your model, or if their servers go down, your expensive smart home turns into a collection of dumb plastic bricks. You don't own your smart home, the smart home owns you. This is not a conspiracy, it is simply the most profitable business model ever invented. The slow erosion of property rights is happening in the background of our daily lives, masked by the sleek design of modern technology. So what is the psychological impact of living in a world where you own nothing? There is a famous quote that has been circulating online for years, predicting the future of the global economy. You will own nothing and you will be happy. The first part is becoming a reality, but the second part is a lie. Property isn't just about materialism, it is about stability. It is about having a foundation that cannot be arbitrarily taken away from you. When you rent your entire existence, your entertainment, your transportation, your software, your money, you are placed in a permanent state of precariousness. You are always one missed payment, one server outage, or one policy update away from losing access to your life. This breeds a deep, subconscious anxiety. It is the anxiety of a tenant who knows the landlord can change the locks at any moment. You cannot build generational wealth on subscriptions. You cannot pass down a Spotify playlist or an expired software license to your children. We are moving toward a neo-feudal system where a handful of massive tech monopolies act as the digital lords, and the rest of us are just digital serfs, paying daily tribute to access their platforms. But you do not have to accept this as the default reality. The first step to fighting back is recognizing the trap. The next time you are prompted to accept a new user agreement, ask yourself what you are actually giving up. Stop buying smart appliances that require an internet connection to perform basic functions. Buy physical media. Buy hard drives. Support right-to-repair legislation in your local area. Look at the rise of open-source software and decentralized networks. These are not just tech trends, they are acts of resistance. By choosing tools that are not controlled by a central authority, you are voting for a future where ownership still exists. It requires more effort. It requires a steeper learning curve. But freedom has always required effort. Convenience is the ultimate trap, the sweet poison that makes you voluntarily hand over your autonomy. Demand to own the things you pay for. We have to stop trading our fundamental property rights for temporary digital convenience. The Matrix wants you to be a dependent, compliant subscriber. Do not give them that power. Start reclaiming your physical and digital sovereignty today. This is Proxy Reality. Subscribe to stay awake, and remember, if you don't hold the keys, it isn't yours.